Hey, welcome to the WeCare podcast. I'm Jordan Vaughn, nurse practitioner.
And I'm Molly Cooey, RN.
Today, we are going to do a little deep dive into my story as a provider.
So really excited to get this information today, guys. So I am aware of your adrenaline junkie kind of background start in the ER, but how or what inspired you to go into medicine and wellness?
So initially, I wanted to just be a nurse. And that all started whenever I was younger. I went to Redmond with my aunt. We were there to pick up her paycheck, and I saw one of the Life Flight helicopters landing, and I was like, I'm going to do that one day. And so then I went into nursing school, and I started in the emergency department to kind of get my background, feet wet before I went to doing Life Flight nursing. I did a ride along with them and realized that was a little scary and maybe not the safest route for my career. So I decided to stay in the emergency department. And yes, I do love adrenaline, and that's probably why I was there for many years, 10 years to be exact. While I was on the bedside, though, I really just felt that I was being called to more. I knew that I wanted to become a provider. So I decided to go back to school, and I got my master's as a nurse practitioner, and I started in the ER for a while. And then I got pregnant with our son, and I felt like the hours, that just wasn't exactly what was for me anymore. And I went to the urgent care and had some normal hours, was able to be home with my baby. And then while there, I just still felt like there was more and more than traditional medicine. I felt like we were just taking care of people once they had problems, and I wanted to be on the other side of healthcare and more preventative and more wellness. So that's kind of a little take on why I chose the route I did.
Well, you are so good at what you do when it comes to caring not only for cosmetic patients, but also overall wellness patients. Was there a specific moment when you knew that this was your calling?
As far as this, I knew that it was my calling. A lot of my patients would say, like, especially in the ER urgent care, they're like, I wish that you would start taking patients. I would follow you. I would come to you if I could see you every time. And then I had patients that had started to come in, even just little things, and they weren't necessarily the right fit for the urgent care, but they wanted to see me. They knew what days that I worked, all of the things. And so I felt like that was what really triggered me. I was being called to more. I needed relationships with those patients. I needed to be in an area that I could take care of them fully, wholly, and not just in the urgent care.
Right. It's evident in a lot of clients that we have between both of our offices that you are very patient and you are very kind and you listen very well to our clients' issues and take the time to go into like a deep dive with them. And I know they're very appreciative of that.
Yes, that's definitely my goal.
How do you approach caring for patients differently than the traditional healthcare setting?
I feel like I treat my patients like they're my family or like they're my best friend. I want to walk with them. I don't want to just slap a Band-Aid on them. I don't want to tell them, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. I really want them to feel like we're making the goals together and that we are getting healthy together. And I feel like that's how my approach is a little bit different from traditional as well, is just being with them, walking alongside them, and knowing that it's not a race, that we're going to walk there, we're going to get there together, and that I'll be by their side through it all.
Right. The active listening is just such a big key component in in healthcare these days, and it really is lacking in a lot of corporate settings.
I agree. And I feel like the patients are begging for
Yes.
that. They come in and they're begging. They're like, I've been told, that my labs are normal, but why is this one red? Or I've been told, that nothing's wrong with me, but why do I feel this way? They're all coming in with the same thing. Nobody will listen to me. And they get to us, and sometimes it's just they're coming in for Botox, and you're talking to them, and then the next thing I know, they're in my chair because she'll listen to you. She will get to that problem. You've got to see her.
Yes.
So I think everyone's begging for that, and that's really
Yes.
what we need.
And you were talking about how you try to treat everyone like your own family. Bringing your family into this, how has motherhood affected your perspective as a healthcare provider?
Grace. Oh, no, I have 4 kids, so it's really hectic and crazy in our home every day. So really just learning patience, and I'm not saying that I always have patience. We know that too.
It's difficult.
It's difficult. But they definitely have taught me patience and perseverance, and just deep diving with them has really taught me how to deep dive with my patients. And my kids, they need grace. Our patients need grace. It's not just a target you're going to throw and, you're going to hit the right target. No, we've got a lot of work when I meet a patient. We got a lot of work when you're dealing with kids, but I feel like that's really a big thing, motherhood, and how I care for my kids and how I care for my patients, just being able to care for them fully and being very patient on our road together.
I do feel that since joining WeCare, I feel like we have such positive reactions with our clients and everything that it's a lot easier to be positive at work, and it's a lot easier to continue that positivity and have extra left over to pour into basically my family at the end of the day, instead of feeling like going home sluggish because everything was just very disappointing and heavy during the day. If you noticed,
I definitely feel that being in this role and really seeing true life change has definitely made a difference in how I care for my kids, and going home and just trying to influence them in a positive light and just give them more grace because of WeCare and how we treat our clients.
Right. What does faith look like in your daily work in leadership? I know faith is very important to you.
Yes. I feel like it's woven into everything that I do. I cannot say that it always has been, but even with WeCare and becoming a mom and being in a leadership role, I think it's definitely pushed me closer to God and helping me explore my faith more. I want to be a good leader, and I know that I can't lead well if I don't love God well, and I can't love others well if I don't, love Him well and feel His love. So I think that just being in that leadership role, it has really made my faith grow exponentially, and it's really made me want to continue to make disciples out of others. And I know that without my faith and without God being center, I just don't think that our business would run the way that it does, and the setbacks that we sometimes have, they wouldn't go as gracefully or as well if I didn't have God as my center.
Right, because every business has little hiccups and little speed bumps along the way, and the way that your owner and manager and things like that handle it with grace and with faith really makes a big difference in how the future looks.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that that's what attracts people to us too, is that they know that they're going to get loved on. They're our number one priority, and that we're going to share the love of Jesus with them.
Yes.
I have my Alexa on Brandon Lake Radio every day, and I love when patients, they come in and they're like, it's so peaceful back here. So they just get to escape reality when they come. They just feel at peace. I feel like that's a big deal in my clinic, is wanting them to be able to escape reality and just have a moments of peace. So
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about your story with us today.
yes, absolutely. And I want y'all to stick around for next week, because we are going to do a deep dive into Molly's story. Thanks for joining, and
Be sure to follow us on all of our socials. Thanks and have a great day.